Hey everyone. Today I wanted to take a look at the Tough Love Arena statistics, and instead of just make a tier list based off of what I think, I want to talk to you guys about what the statistics say. So, we've got my personal statistics, but those don't really mean much. Because as you can see, I've never played a game with garlic. I do not like garlic. But if we look at the global stats, we get a much better general idea of what's going on. So, as we can see, we've got garlic at 46% win rate, noodle at 52, rice at 52, beef at 49, pork at 55, and onion at 48. So, officially, statistically speaking, garlic is the worst character in the game. Garlic's best matchup is against garlic. And it's also about even with rice. So whether or not that's the character or just people don't play garlic very well is up for debate, but I would argue that garlic is the worst character. Not by much, but definitely the worst, I think. So statistically, onion is actually worse than beef. I don't agree with this one. I feel like onion is good. I think onion is really good, but I think onion is really difficult. So this statistic isn't necessarily reflected. This is also looking at all online modes. Once ranked mode comes out and we can look at the statistics for ranked online, that'll be really nice for determining how good characters actually are. This is just a general ballpark. We can switch the modes up, but that doesn't make too much of a difference. So we see that onion has a pretty good win rate against garlic, but still loses to the other characters. I feel like onion should be winning against noodle and rice, but I feel like onion is just so hard to play that people aren't figuring it out. The same could be said about garlic. I just feel like garlic doesn't have the tools that onion has, though, personally. So then, we can take a look here at beef. Beef is a pretty decent character at a 49% win rate. It's not bad. We see statistically beef wins against noodle and both the cats. I'm gonna guess that everybody wins against the cats just because of the difficulty level and potentials, you know, all that stuff. Still losing to rice. Rice definitely stomps on the meats. Let's see. Yeah, pork still loses to rice too. Rice's damage output is just insane, especially off of anti-airs, and the meats are just way easier to anti-air. Noodle's got an easier anti-air, so I feel like Noodle probably does better against the cats. Let's take a look. So, statistically, it does a bit better against garlic, does a bit worse against onion, but I think Noodle should be doing better against the cats, just because his anti-air is invincible and such. But yeah, Rice's damage output off of anti-airs specifically, and just normally, Rice can do a lot of damage with just one bar of love meter. So yeah, it makes sense for Rice to have a pretty good win rate here. But anyways, back to beef. Beef loses a lot to pork, which makes sense to me. So yeah, statistically, we've got the cats and beef at the bottom. I don't think onion belongs down in the bottom half of the characters at all. I think onion's just difficult. As for the carbs, which are both at 52% win rates, We can see Noodle statistically only loses to Beef, and Rice loses to Noodle. So, and like barely beats out Garlic, whereas Noodle curve stomps Garlic. But yeah, I think both the carbs are good. They're both really good at what they do. They just are not good at playing from behind. I feel like Noodle has to play from behind a bit more often than Rice does, just because Rice has so much damage. But, as I've said before, if your opponents are making mistakes, that's how you win with these characters. Rice can capitalize off of mistakes more heavily, with more damage output, but it's a lot easier for Noodle to punish small mistakes. Like if you're pressing too many buttons, he's got his invincible Frenzy. And Noodle controls a bit more space than Rice. And finally, we've got my main man, Pork. Pork's got a 55% win rate, which is pretty insane. Characters that are winning that much tend to be pretty good, so whenever people tell you that Pork isn't good, you can just ignore them. But honestly, this win rate is probably only this high because Pork is pretty easy in general. He's got the armor move, which is really nice. You can actually, if you time it just right, you can get a full combo off of an anti-air with it. You don't have to just knock people down. If you catch them right when they land, you can combo off of it. So he's got a really strong anti-air with that, and it's still got the safety net of just armoring through the jump in and knocking down as well if you mess it up. But yeah, I feel like losing against Noodle makes sense, losing against Rice makes sense. Just because it is hard for this character to get in. He doesn't have the speed that the cats have. Pork should definitely be winning these matchups. So I think that makes up for a big part of his win rate, obviously. And Beef, I didn't expect Pork to be beating Beef this much, but I guess he has been. Those are a look at all the characters and their win and loss rates, and how their matchups look. I think Pork is definitely a better character than people give Pork credit for, although he is easy, and this game is still fairly new, so that makes up for part of it. So yeah, that's what the statistics say about the characters right now. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, I would really appreciate it if you guys hit the subscribe button and turned on your notifications for whenever I upload videos. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me whose statistics you think are accurate. You can see how many games have been played with each character as well. You can tell me who you think is over or underplayed, who has too high of a win rate, too low of one. Feel free to let me know that stuff in the comments down below, and I'll see y'all next time.